Welcome to session 12 of the course Using Office 365 Groups for CIS 3900 Final Project Collaboration. This session 12 is going to go over using the Shared Planner tool. It's part one of that. We'll have two parts on this. If you're just starting with session 12, you're going to want to go back and start with session 1 and go through 1 through 3 at least. You can go directly from 3 to here if you're just interested in the planner, but my recommendation is to watch them, in sequence, because I'm building on things that you should already know by the time you get here. So if you don't, you may struggle. If on the other hand, you're just doing a brush up and you just want a reminder on what the planner is all about, then starting here might be exactly the right thing for you. So by way of introduction, Northwestern State University's Office 365 server includes a planner feature. When an Office 365 group is created for project team collaboration, a placeholder plan for that group is automatically created. And that plan can be used to assign and manage tasks for the project team for which the group was built. So similar to many of the other sessions, I've included Microsoft's documentation here as well. There's lots of good stuff that goes into more detail than we'll do as a part of this session, but this session is going to focus on what you need for group collaboration, for planning the final project for CIS 3900. So the goal is to learn how to use the Shared Planner tool to create a plan, to create planned tasks, and to organize those tasks into buckets. So getting to the plan. So the Group Planner tool is a part of the Office 365 Group Portal. There is no, so when we talked about Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all that, we talked about there's web versions, there's desktop versions, and there's mobile versions of those applications. Well, the planner, there's really only a portal version. You can see the plan in the mobile app, but if you want to edit the plan and all that kind of stuff, there really is only the web portal. So how do we get to it? Well, if you remember, we've seen this multiple times. I've started here, I logged in, I got to my own personal, mailbox, my student mailbox, and then from my student mailbox, I clicked on this CIS 3900 Group 4, which is the group I created for my project team that worked on the CIS 3900 project together. We were Group 4, so that's hence the name. And then we've talked about so far, conversations, which is a shared mailbox, calendar, which is a shared calendar, files, which is a shared OneDrive, notebook, which is a shared OneNote notebook. We're going to skip connectors. It's beyond the scope of this thing. But under here is planner. And the reason it's under more is just simply because I've got a really high resolution monitor here, 4K, but if you were on a standard, much more standard monitor, you'd quickly run out of real estate. So Microsoft started putting stuff under more here. In addition, you can get the planner via the Waffle, the app launcher. Just there it is, planner right there. Now once you go in, if you go this way, you'll then have to click on the group plan versus any other plan, but it will show up in there. Well, I'll just show you how, right? So if you click on planner, obviously, I've been idle too long. So you'll notice it's asking me to sign in because this is Northwestern's Office 365 tenant. I use my Northwestern email address. Session 1 and 2 went through all of that about how to sign on and everything. So if you need a refresher on that, view session 1 and 2. For now, we'll just click on that. So when I go here, you'll notice I'm at the Planner Hub, and here's my plans, right? So I have two plans, one for this test group that I created as a part of this course, and two, the other one is for my CIS 3900 Group 4. So I'm going to click on that. Just remember that if I would have clicked on the group and then clicked on that menu bar that said more and click Planner, I did it in the same place. So that's how you get to it, right? So this is the planner hub, and then this is the plan for CIS group 3900 Group 4. So it says here that the group's default plan will show. So Again, when I clicked on CIS 3900 Group 4, that's it. So let me just one more time, let me go through this. So when I first log on to Office 365, it by default is going to take me to my own inbox. And then it'll give me the ability to it'll list out the groups that I belong to. So here's my CIS 3900 Group 4 group that I created. Here's our group mailbox, and then more, and then planner, and then it's going to default to the plan for that group. You'll notice the same screen I was on before. So creating an organizing task. So the planner tool on Office 365 is an implementation of what's called the Kanban method. And the Kanban method is a methodology for managing work. It's, I believe, a Japanese, it originated in Japan as a part of work on manufacturing and things like that. But it's basically a sort of baseline or easy project management methodology that has two real philosophies. So one is you create tasks, and then the tasks move from need to be done to being done to completed. And this planner tool then sort of mimics that Kanban tool. So I've included a Wikipedia link here for more information about Kanban. If you're interested, I would do it. There's other planning tools on the internet as well that implement this same sort of Kanban philosophy, and it really is a nice philosophy. It's real simple. You might not want to use it for a very complicated software development project, but for something like creating this final project for CIS 3900 works really well, and any kind of team project that's fairly not too big, not too hairy, not too complex, it works really well. So in a planner plan, there's basically two constructs. So the first is tasks, which represent pieces of work that need to be completed as a part of completing the overall project. And then the second construct is a bucket, which is just a mechanism for organizing related tasks. And the Kanban method for creating, the recommended method for creating a Kanban plan, regardless of whether you use the planner tool we're looking at now, or whether you do it with sticky notes, which is kind of the original way that Kanban plans were created. So the recommended method is, just create the list of tasks. And then once you've kind of got the list of most of the tasks you need to, organize those tasks into buckets. And then, the assignment and other details about the task come later. So here's the process for creating tasks. I'm going to walk through that. So here's my plan. I'm going to go to the CIS test group plan here, which is a blank plan to kind of just get us started. So this is the way it starts, right? So I just have one bucket called to do, and I just have this blank task. So the first task might be, read project assignment documents. And then, so that's good. And then the next task is going to be document use cases, right? And then the next one's going to be create use case diagrams. These are just tasks I'm creating, right? Well, once I get these tasks created, I may have, 30 or 40 tasks. Well, the next thing I'll need to do is maybe I want to sort of organize these. So maybe my first bucket is all the things like initial research, right? So maybe this is all the stuff I need to do to kind of get ready to do the project, right? And so what I can do then is take one of these tasks, this read project assignment documents, and I can drag it over and drop it in that bucket. Maybe the next bucket is requirements and use cases, right? And so once I get that bucket, maybe I want to drop, these use cases or these tasks, into that bucket. There we go. And then, I can rearrange them up and down. I can do all sorts of things. So now I'm going to go back to the CIS 100 project. And you can see here that I have multiple buckets. So I had, here's how we organized ourselves. So we had prerequisite tasks, right? That's things like reading the project assignment documents, getting the list of requirements out of that. And then we had prerequisites for each one of the sections, right? So in order to create the sections of the deliverable, so for example, in order to complete the functional model section of the deliverable, we needed to do three things. We need to create the use case diagrams, create the activity diagrams, and create a list of major use cases. In order to be able to complete the structural model section of the diagram of the final deliverable, we had to create object diagrams, class diagrams, CRC cards, and a list of business entities, right? So on, I won't go through all of that, but this was our, this was our project plan right here, right? So we had 5 buckets, sort of prerequisite tasks before you could do anything, and then the prerequisite tasks for each major section of the document. These 3, and then we had to create the actual proposal elements themselves, right? So the executive summary, the behavioral model, and all that kind of stuff. And then then we had to over here on the end, we had to assemble the final document, kind of review it as a team, and then upload it to Dr. Perez Mira. So this was our project, right? And we did exactly what I showed before. So we created the list of tasks, and then we created kind of our buckets, and then we just drag and dropped our tasks into buckets. And you'll see here that, I've got assignments and all the other stuff, but for now, that's kind of irrelevant, right? So again, you want to create the tasks, which you see the process here, which is pretty easy. Then create the buckets, right? And then organize the task into the buckets. And once you've done that, you're basically, kind of ready to begin working on the project. You've got your plan in place, and now you need to begin working on it. And again, that's sort of that Kanban methodology. So in the next session, we're going to go through assigning tasks and doing some of the other things that are part of working with the planner and the Kanban methodology.